back to another episode of On a Mission. I'm your host, Dr. Wendy Norfleet with Norfleet Integrated Solutions, and it is my pleasure to have with me Dennis Stone with the Jacksonville Urban League. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So, Dennis, we know that the Jacksonville Urban League does a lot of good things. So before we start talking about an upcoming event, why don't you tell us a little bit about the organization?
So, yes, the Jacksonville Urban League started actually in 1947. Its 75th anniversary is this year.
Oh, wow.
And it's a great event. And also, the National Urban League, with which we're associated, started 100 years ago. And really, it was both organizations started really to deal with disparities in the Black community, Jim Crow barriers to everything from starting a business to going to school, etc. And so they took it upon themselves to become the organization of interest and support for the Black community. So and from the beginning, they focused on helping people start businesses, financial literacy, education, health and wellness, and the like. And so we do a lot of that.
So it sounds like you're really trying to, like, not necessarily even a score, but provide the same opportunities.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We also, about 4 years ago, established a Center for Advocacy and Social Justice. And they asked me I'm the general counsel for the Urban League. I was on the board, and they asked me to start the center, and which I've done. And that focuses on supporting via advocacy the mission of the Urban League that I just mentioned. And so we have interns from all over the country, as well as Jacksonville, helping us in these various endeavors. And again, helping businesses, helping people on social media, helping with public health issues and policy issues. So it's a really exciting activity for young people to get involved from some of the best institutions in America, and it's been quite successful. One of the programs we launched, actually two. One was focusing on community engagement, focusing on the Neighborhood Bill of Rights in Jacksonville, a city ordinance, and asking the city to do more engagement with the community. And we've come up with various workshops to help make that happen.
That sounds
The second
great.
thing we launched was the Racial Healing and Reconciliation, a monthly conversation, just to bring people together of all races, creeds, and just to talk about how we can better get along and how we can better understand one another.
I think that's what it boils down to. A lot of times we're different because of our background, our experiences, but when we start those conversations, we see that we're also very similar.
Exactly.
And we start understanding each other from, like, the basis you're coming from.
Right. And that kind of leans into another area that we are very active in, and that is developing partnerships with other organizations that are really trying to do the same thing, but in their specialty area. So, for instance, we work with the Population Health Consortium of Northeast Florida. We've helped them get their 501c3 started. We're working with Holistic Health Smart for Seniors out of the University of Florida's Jacksonville campus that focuses on health and wellness for seniors. And so by doing that, I think we're demonstrating that kind of sharing and getting to know one another works to help people change their thinking, change their way of living. And we have an event coming up that we'll be discussing that.
Okay. And so the event that we're going to talk about is the Racial Healing and
Right.
Reconciliation.
Yes.
And that's those conversations, but this one is a little bit bigger than the monthly conversation.
Yes, this is a second annual conference on racial healing and reconciliation. And it's bringing in experts from all over the country to talk about these issues. We launched it last year virtually because of COVID. We decided to do it virtually again this year simply because it's a little hard to tell what's going to happen
Right.
with COVID, So we decided to do that. Our hope is that next year we'll be able to do it in person. But nevertheless, it is virtually. It's running 9 to 4 on October 27th. And it covers, as I said, experts from all over the country and all bases. For instance, we have faith-based communities represented, psychology, physicians, businesses, etc., having conversations about how we can better understand one another so that we establish a beloved community. And that's actually the theme for this year.
Wow, that's great. I just can't applaud you enough for all that you're doing, and by hosting this event, it's great. I've just seen so many times where when these type of conversations get started, great things can happen.
Absolutely.
And so it's just wonderful. So again, it's October 27th, 9 to 4.
Yes.
Okay. And it's virtual.
And it's virtual.
Okay. So if someone wants to learn more about the Jacksonville Urban League and or this event, how do they do that?
It's easy. Just go to rhrconference.com.
Okay.
And
rhrconference.com.
and
Okay.
click on that, and it will take you to the information page and also the registration page.
Okay. Dennis, thank you so much for sharing this, and I hope you have an awesome event.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having us here, and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us today for On a Mission. To learn more about Urban League's event, Racial Healing and Reconciliation, please go to rhrconference.com. And we'll see you next time on Buzz TV.